Fantasy football fan, what's going on? This is Fantasy Football AF, and I'm your host, Mitchell Renz. I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Tavour. And if you guys want to drink awesome craft beer from all over the country, you guys need to go to Tavour.com. You're going to use promo code CHATSPORTS for $10 off your very first purchase. Today, I'm sipping Top Cutter Indian Pale Ale. So Tavour, cheers to you. I got 3 buy low trade targets that you guys need to target this week. Now, it's tough to buy low on guys. I get it. Because it's scary because they haven't been playing well. But this is when you need to do it when they're coming off either a bye or they're not playing so well. And these are the guys that can help you propel to a fantasy football championship. And the first guy that I'm going with is Jordan Howard. Why the hell am I telling you to pick up Jordan Howard? Well, he's got 64 carries. That's a lot of carries, especially when you consider he's only played 3 weeks. 4 weeks. 3 weeks. Yeah, 64 carries, 203 yards, and a touchdown. Now, he has 2 straight years of over 1,000 rushing yards. 2 straight years over 1,000 rushing yards, and this Bears offense is moving a lot better. Here's the issue. He's RB 36 in fantasy right now, and Tariq Cohen last week, or in week 4, played much better because the Bears were on a bye in week 5. When you look at the game script of that game, the Bears put up 48 points, and Jordan Howard didn't look good. It's scary. But the fact that he's getting that many touches, sure, the 2.5 yards per carry can scare you away, but when you're finding the running back that's getting that many touches on an offense that I think is pretty good, with one of the best defenses in the NFL, shout out Khalil Mack, I'm telling you guys, go buy low on Jordan Howard while there's still time. All right, we've got a nice little master debater here for you guys, and I think this one's fun. So, did you have MySpace? I just want to know straight up, did you have MySpace? Personally, me, I did have MySpace, so I'm throwing up that laughing face. Yes, I did, and if you didn't, thumbs up to you, because that's probably a good thing. Also, if you guys want to comment below what your MySpace song was. Mine was Chris Brown, Run It. I think that's the dance he did. Maybe not, I don't know, but mine was Chris Brown, Run It. I did have MySpace, and I want to know if you guys had MySpace as well. Next buy low target, I talked about him before in my waiver wire section, and it's D'Onta Foreman. Foreman's one of those guys, well, if Texas is back, it's pretty soon Foreman's going to be back. In 2017, 78 carries, 327 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And if you go back and you watch the tape, he was clearly the better running back than Lamar Miller. He's definitely better than Alfred Blue. So the fact that he could be the lead running back on a Texans offense, that's something that I want to buy into. He's going to return from the IR in week 7. He is recovering from an Achilles injury. So I would like to see how he has, maybe a little bit extra step, because sometimes that Achilles can take a little bit of, it can zap a running back a little bit. I get it. But if there's a chance that Foreman can look the way he did last year and be the lead running back, and he's a guy who you can get for nearly free right now, he's a guy who could literally win you your league. So go out, either trade for Foreman or pick him up on the waiver wire, because he's out there. I'm telling you, he's out there. Now, if you can't buy low on those 2 guys, here's some other options. And some people are going to be like, why is Alvin Kamara a buy low? Because I'm telling you what, I was astonished with the amount of people that DM'd me on Instagram and Twitter that said, should I trade Alvin Kamara? Guys, he had 1 bad week. It was Monday Night Football. He had 9 touches. I get it. It's scary. Mark Ingram's back. That game was about Drew Brees. That game was about the Saints using Mark Ingram because there's no game tape on him. And it was the Redskins. They played terrible. Absolutely terrible. So, if somebody's saying, hey, I want to trade Kamara, go out and buy him. Aaron Jones, clearly the better running back, I think, in Green Bay. So, go out and pick him up. And then Leonard Fournette, dealing with a lot of injuries. The Jags, they went out and picked up Jamal Charles literally today, Tuesday. And I think people are going to start panicking on Leonard Fournette. And hey, if I can literally get him for almost free, that's a guy who I'm going to buy low on. Trivia time. I love doing trivia because I want to see, for one, how often you guys watch my show. And I want to see how smart y'all. So, who is the only wide receiver, okay? Who's the only wide receiver with over 210 receiving yards without a touchdown? Can you think? I'm going to give you a few seconds to comment below as the Jeopardy music's going to play in my head. You think you got it? The only wide receiver with over 210 receiving yards without a touchdown? Guess what? It's my next buy low guy. Please go out and buy low on Julio Jones. Please buy low on Julio Jones. He's right now wide receiver 14, which is kind of funny. It's kind of funny to think that Julio is wide receiver 14, and why? Because he has 0 touchdowns this year. Okay? The next closest guy who has 0 touchdowns with over 200 yards, it's Tavis Bryant with 202 yards. Think about that. He's got 564 receiving yards and no touchdowns. He's getting a whole bunch of targets. He's got 34 catches. He's no doubt, from a talent perspective, I think a top 3 wide receiver. It's just the touchdowns. And I'll sit here and I'll say, yeah, I didn't expect him to be this bad again in the red zone. And, you know, maybe we finally need to realize that Julio is never going to be a red zone guy. But I'm telling you right now, what do I always say? Targets are really important. Opportunity is king in fantasy football, and Julio's getting them. The touchdowns will come. If people are panicking on him, go out and get yourself some Julio Jones. If that guy who has Julio Jones like, nah, fam, I'm not giving you him, here are 3 other guys that you can consider to get. Jarvis Landry. Jarvis has got 57 targets this year. He's top 4 in the NFL in targets, and yet he's not a top 15 wide receiver. So go out and get yourself some Jarvis. Baker, I still think, is like one of those guys you can definitely consider as a reliable, maybe flex play here and there if you're in 2 quarterback leagues. Keenan Allen, another guy. Please get my man Keenan involved in the red zone. Chargers, if you're watching, please get Keenan involved in the red zone. It's driving me nuts. And another guy, Michael Crabtree. Now, I'm not a fan of Joe. I get it. And Michael's kind of had some issues with drops. He's got 250 receiving yards, but he does have 45 targets. He's top 10 in the NFL right now in targets. And the fact that he is that high in targets makes me think, okay, if I at least need a guy who I can fill in as a flex, Michael Crabtree is a guy who you could probably go out and get for nearly nothing. So those are my week 6 buy low candidates. I want to give a shout out to you guys for watching Fantasy Football AF. I want you guys to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and hey, if you want to hit me up on Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365, I would definitely appreciate that. I want to say cheers to Tavor for sponsoring today's show, and you guys please go to Tavor.com, use that promo code ChatSports for $10 off your very first purchase, and guess what? Sign up is 100% free, which is lit AF, just like this show. So again, thank you to Tavor, and cheers to y'all.